This is Cal Hunter. If you're lost and you think you're walking in a straight line, you're not. And the worst part is, you won't realize it until you've already gone too far. Most people trust their sense of direction. They pick a point. They move toward it. They believe consistency equals accuracy. But your body doesn't work that way. You are not symmetrical. One leg pushes slightly harder. One step travels slightly farther. Your posture shifts without you noticing. Individually, these differences are nothing. But over distance, they become direction. A straight line begins to bend. A bend becomes a curve. And the curve closes in on itself. That's how a loop forms. Slow, invisible, inevitable. History is full of this pattern. Soldiers moving through dense forests. Explorers crossing open terrain in fog. Civilians trying to find their way out after losing a trail. They all reported the same thing. They believed they were moving forward. But they kept returning to the same location. The same trees, the same terrain, the same broken branches. Not because they weren't paying attention, because they had nothing to measure against. Direction requires reference. Without it, your brain guesses. And your body executes that guess imperfectly. Then your brain tries to correct it. But the correction is based on the same flawed input. So it overcompensates. Left, then right. Then left again. Each correction pulling you further away from a true path until movement becomes repetition. Now, introduce stress, because you're not just walking. You're lost. Your breathing changes. Your pace increases. Your thoughts become shorter, less analysis, more reaction. You stop observing your environment. You stop tracking patterns. You stop asking the most important question: am I actually going somewhere? Instead, you replace it with, am I still moving? And that's where people fail, because movement feels like control. Standing still feels like danger. So they keep going, even when nothing around them changes, even when the terrain looks familiar, even when something feels wrong. At some point, they notice it. A mark, a footprint, a broken branch, something they've seen before. And for a moment, clarity returns. They understand what's happening. They realize they've been looping. But instead of stopping, they try to fix it instantly. They choose a new direction. Faster this time. More urgency. More effort. But still, no reference point. And the loop begins again. This is how people disappear. Not by traveling far distances. Not by pushing deep into unknown territory. But by exhausting themselves inside a limited area. Close enough to safety, too disoriented to reach it. History solved this problem with simple methods, not advanced tools, not technology, discipline. You pick a reference point that does not move. The sun, a shadow line, a fixed landmark, and you align your movement to it. Not once, continuously. Or you mark your path every few meters, visible signs, cuts in bark, stacked stones, disturbed ground patterns. Because the moment you cross your own trail, you know. Not later. Immediately. And when that happens, you stop. That's the difference. Survivors stop. They pause. They reassess. They break the loop before it consumes energy. Before panic takes over. Before small mistakes become permanent ones. Because once exhaustion sets in, your ability to correct direction disappears completely. Coordination drops. Judgment fails. Decision-making slows. And then, you're no longer navigating. You're just moving. And movement without direction is how you trap yourself. Most people don't die because they couldn't survive. They die because they couldn't stop. It wasn't distance. It wasn't the environment. It was the loop. This is Cal Hunter. Grid Zero out.